back to the Real Estate Huddle, where today we are going to be talking about debunking a myth, right? Everybody says that spring is the best time to buy a house. So what if it's actually costing you more money to wait until spring compared to buying right now? And that's what we're going to talk about is the ins and outs of the market conditions of where we're at right now and how that relates to timing for buyers and what you should know in this market. So there's definitely a lot of talk about timing, right? And we've absolutely heard a lot of people, say those words. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait and hold off until, 6 months, 12 months down the road because of interest rates and just kind of the pain of affordability right now. But it, may be wise to look into the market conditions that we currently have.
Yeah, going off of that, I think there's a lot of myths around spring buying as well. I think the idea of it being a good time to buy kind of comes from the fact that more listings hit the market in the spring. But the reality is more listings means more buyers, which means more competition. And the effect of bidding wars, higher prices, and reduced negotiation power can actually make spring buying a little more costly and stressful than it's made out to be.
Totally. And I tell sellers all the time, like February through April is the best time to sell a house, right? But it's not necessarily the best time to buy a house. And that's where people get messed up is they think like, oh, real estate market, spring's the best, right? But it's like the best for who? I think that's the biggest question that you have to ask yourself. Definitely the most competitive.
Yeah, and as a buyer, I think with less competition, you're going to have more negotiating power. So we can get you a better price. We can get more concessions, more things on the inspection. A lot of that comes from having more motivated sellers. So if they're sitting on the market for a long time, if they have to move, a lot of the people, if they're moving during fall or during winter, it's because they have a need. So they're a little bit more motivated. And you just have more time as well. Sometimes during really hot periods, it's like if you sleep on it, you might not sleep in it as far as the house goes. So now you have more time. You can kind of wait, figure things out, and you're not in so much of a rush. So if you're looking for a more casual or less stressed buying experience, I think now can be a good time as well.
If you like it, then you should put a ring on it, basically.
Yeah.
What you said. Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a very interesting window that we're in right now. Like we haven't seen motivated sellers like this in a long time, where sellers are just not even seeing any showings come through week by week, asking their agent like, where are the buyers right now? Why is my home not being shown? And it's like a headache of a conversation, right? For listing agents, because I'm doing everything I can. I'm marketing here. I'm doing this. We got great signage. You post it everywhere online, but still no one's coming to look at it because there's just fewer buyers right now because of affordability. So that creates deals, right, that are happening right now. And not many people are aware of that fact, I believe. Mm-hmm. So there's also concessions, right? Like you got great opportunities as far as what like throughout the whole process of a transaction, as far as what you can benefit from right now as a buyer.
Let me see this. So I have a lot to say about concessions. So I've been waiting for my moment here.
Are you like cheese curds, like concession stands?
No,
mini donuts?
concession stands. Let's get one thing straight. For concession stands, the best concession stand is the Dippin' Dots concession stand. You can argue
that might be a
it's not
personal
crazy.
opinion.
It is perfectly logical.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
But when we're talking about concessions with homes, the hardest time to get concessions is in that springtime market. Okay, it's when everybody, like we said, is deciding to sell, and everybody wants a home at that same time. And so you have this flooding of the market where everyone's, you get into bidding wars and you get into all this other competition. But in this time, like this time frame, fall, winter, you have that part where the sellers, they've gone through the spring market, they've gone through the summer market, and they still haven't sold. And now they're like, all right, we need to get going. They get that motivation increases, they get the FOMO, they get all of it. And so for us as buyers, we have the opportunity not only to get like a better deal on the price of the home, but when it comes to concessions, sellers are going to be a lot more willing to pay our whatever concession we need, you know? So in regards to concessions, we have a couple things. So people take concessions just in general for whatever repairs they think they need right off the bat, or whatever. They're just asking for more money back from the sell. Yeah,
I don't wanna-
carpet allowances or whatever they deem necessary. But then there's also seller paid concessions for rate buy downs, whether it's permanent or temporary. Permanent, you're probably not going to get as much off of the rate as you'd want as you would with a temporary. These are called like 2-1 buy downs is kind of the standard one right now. So if you're at like 6% rate first year, it's a 2-year rate buy down. The first year you're going to go down 2 percentage points in most cases. So you'll be at 4% that first year. Second year, it'll bump up 1% to 5%. And then if you don't refinance by that third year, it'll go back to what you locked in at a 6%. Hopefully that makes sense. Then you have 3-2-1 buy downs sometimes. I've seen those done every once in a while. It's same process, just for 3 years and a 3% difference starting on the first year.
Oh, and one key point that I love about the rate buy down, that money that is the concession that's given by the seller goes into basically an escrow account.
Escrow, yep.
So you make your payment, and then the delta comes out of the escrow account, and that merges together to make your full payment.
Yep.
Well, if you refinance a year and a half
Earlier.
into a 3-year rate buy down, the money left over in that escrow account is yours. It doesn't disappear. It is yours to reallocate to closing and stuff or closing costs or whatever for a refinance.
Yep,
So,
exactly. It'll help with that refinances in almost every case. So the concessions, they're not only for that first initial negotiation on the contract. You can even get more concessions on the inspection stuff, because sellers, the best part about this market is sellers are in fear of missing out big time. Fear of missing out on that deal through the entire process. That goes for the initial contract, that goes for the inspection. If you can get more money off the inspection, that's great. You're likely to get more money on concessions because of that. And then through the whole process, they're a lot more, it's just the negotiation's a lot easier going through the whole process. So I love this market for buyers. I absolutely love it. I want more buyers just for the sake of it's a much better experience for them. They get more. Now, on the flip side, when you're going into the busier market, or let's say, whether it's the seasonal springtime market, or let's say for this specific scenario, rates drop. So my prediction, and I've been saying this for a while, is when we see a 5, when we hit that 5 mark and it's consistent 5 mark, I think we're going to see this pent up demand not be so pent up anymore. The floodgates are going to open, in my opinion. I think that is going to happen. If that happens, this is all going to change. Seller concessions are going to be a lot less likely, in my opinion.
Somebody take that mic from him. No, just kidding. No, it's
So all I'm saying is get on it. Get after it now.
Yeah. So, like, we've been accused, or I think realtors oftentimes are accused of like, oh, you're just telling me to buy now so that you can get a sale, or you're just like I want people to understand, like, the mindset that we have is like we are fiduciaries to our clients, right? We want them to have the best deal possible. It's just a fact. Like, the spring is more competitive. It is so much harder to find the house you want in the spring and get the deal that you want with the concessions that Spencer was talking about. And you think about the mentality right now, like Spencer was mentioning, with sellers, like going into the holidays, going into the cold season coming up. If you've got a house that you're sitting on that's vacant, you don't want to deal with that during the wintertime. You don't want to deal with frozen pipes. You don't want to deal with like having to hold on to that and pay the mortgage every month if it still has a mortgage on it. And not to mention 60 to 67% of U.S. adults live month to month on their finances, right? If you're living month to month and you've got a payment that's coming every day or every month on a home that you're not even enjoying anymore because you've already moved on, or on a home that you are enjoying but you want to be somewhere else because you've got a closing coming up, maybe they've already bought a new home or something like that. Like, that mentality is what's driving the deals right now and the opportunities for buyers in the fall. And those are very real. Like, we see those on a day-to-day because we're out there doing the business, right? So I think that's key to understand. And as those 2-1 buy downs are a great product. Like, in the 1-1, you can do 1-1s, 2-1s, 3-1, 3-2-1s, like Spencer said. But like, if you want a great rate, you can get it now, and then give 2 years for rates to continue to improve so that you can lock in a fixed rate if that does happen, right? So it's just, there's a lot of opportunity that I think won't be here, like you were saying, in the springtime.
Wait, one more thing. If
Wait, there's
when it
more.
comes to rates too, if you're looking for a house before the springtime, like now's a really good time to go after those the new build homes as well. It's a slow season for them too, and they give incentives that with a 2-1 buy down concession plus a permanent rate buy down in some cases. So I just sold one for they got 387 on their fixed rate. 387. So it's
You the man.
I am the man.
You are amazing.
So if you need a good realtor that'll get you a really good rate with a specific home builder, I think I can do it. Again, I can't guarantee it, but I'll give it my best shot.
Did you just erase what they had on the contract and write in something different?
Sorry, I said 3.87. That was from their 2-1. Sorry.
Okay.
2-1 first year was 3.87, 4.87 will be second year, 5.87 is their fixed rate. Sorry, I'm glad I clarified that.
Hey, that's
really
okay.
excited.
Yeah,
That's
so
okay.
did I.
I mean, I got someone a 4.5 fixed, so with a 2-1, so they're at 2.5.
It probably wasn't the same.
So call me. No, I'm just kidding.
So call Landon first.
But those deals are out there, and like the point you brought up about, if your timing is spring, you could still lock in now with a better deal that closes in the spring. And if you have a home to sell in the spring, even like if it's an 8-month build or a 6-month build, then you may be able to buy now, get the deal, and then sell during the ideal spring market and still get top dollar for your home, because that is the best time to sell. And then
They're pretty flexible with contingencies with these new builders. Yeah. So for sure.
and then you win, right?
They're pretty flexible with these new builds and contingencies.
So no, I think the great things to consider if you're a buyer shopping the market right now, considering timing, definitely.
All right. Future market conditions?
Yeah.
What do we expect? So the forecast is rates are going to drop in the spring. That's what they've been saying. They're on a trend to do that. Lower rates, you're going to get all of these buyers that are sitting on the sidelines that are just ready to go. They see the 5 in front of the interest rate instead of a 6, and all of a sudden, now it's time to start looking. So
I've even heard people. I heard a guy that was an economist on the radio the other day saying that they expect rates to drop next month.
Oh.
So like it could happen sooner than the spring.
I've heard that too.
But yeah, like latter part of this year, I am hoping that we
Yeah.
get to see some movement there.
So you see that now. What does that mean for the market? Now you've got a whole bunch of buyers that have been sitting on the sidelines that are now entering the market to buy. You've got a good amount of inventory, but you're competing against more buyers. So we lost when rates went down at the end of last quarter. We lost 20% of the inventory went under contract in like a 10-day period. So there's a lot of activity just sitting sidelined waiting to happen. So do you want to buy in that situation? I know it sucks. I was trying to buy a home during like the COVID crisis, and people were outbidding. I mean, this is people I work with. I know them, and putting offers on these homes, and I was getting outbid by $160,000 on homes, and that's a really horrible situation to be in a bidding war. People who have tons of equity from a previous sale, where they're like, oh, I'm going to put a cash offer or 50% down. I don't care about inspection. I'll just deal with it. I have enough money it can't be bad enough. So you're dealing with folks like that, and you're competing against that. That's a real hard situation to be in. So it makes it hard for you to stand out. Where if you're the only person offering on a home, now you've got a lot of negotiating power. So now that 15-year-old furnace that didn't work at inspection, you can ask them to replace it. Where, when someone's waiving all inspection, you're not going to have to deal with that. So, so the concessions and the buy downs and those types that type of rebates and incentives to help with the purchase, you're not going to see that as much. Mm-hmm. You're going to go back to waiving appraisals, waiving inspection, and that type of stuff. So you're taking away one of your 7 different areas to be able to back out of the purchase of a home. So you have to make a decision to buy a home for an hour-long tour of the home, and then literally sign a contract in the parking lot again. Like that could be what the situation that you're facing. So, and that's just, you never want to rush a big decision like that. But if you sleep on it, you might not sleep in it.
Yeah.
There you go. So we don't want to be in that situation again. So
Definitely. Well, let's just talk right now as far as like what we do, how we identify great deals and motivated sellers for our buyers, right? Like in this market, what are some signs that you see, when you identify that?
I look up who the agent is and I say, I've given this schmuck the business before. I'm gonna get a great deal. But no, I'd say days on market is a really big one right now. If a home has been sitting, that seller's been paying their mortgage that whole time. They've been either not getting showings or not getting offers. They start to get more stressed out, a little more pressure. So those are usually more motivated sellers, especially if they have a reason they have to move, like they're, going to take care of their parents in another state. Some of those things are just time sensitive where they need to sell their house and they need to move. So they're willing to take a price cut to make that happen. So
Yeah.
I'd say seller motivation, days on market are two really big ones to find homes where you can get a great deal.
right. Yeah, my favorite filter that I added, put a custom screen on the MLS where I've got original list price versus current list price and days on market, all that are kind of shown in a tabular format, so I can filter and drop through that. So
Yeah, price reductions. Good
So
one.
I look at, they've had $50,000 in price reductions and they've been on the market for 60 days. I'm going to call that agent and talk to him and see what it is.
Yeah.
So, and you may have 50 homes in a search that come up. Well, I'm going to narrow it down and try and start to pick on those because those are the ones I'm going to hone in on. Because just like to your point, a vacant home that's been sitting there about to head into the winter months, that type of stuff, those are things like, well, they're pretty motivated. They're actively dropping the price. So, versus someone who bought it like 2 years ago that doesn't have a lot of margin. I've seen some townhomes where like they're taking a loss to try and sell it right now because of a divorce situation or something like that. So,
For sure. Yeah. No, I think there's a difference, right, between a listing that's been on the market for 100 days but has 0 price drops, right? When you look at that listing, what do you think?
they're just fishing and they're not really motivated to sell. They're just trying to test the waters. They're putting their toe in the water and see what happens.
Could be that. I think they're stubborn.
Yeah,
like
that too.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people listening are thinking like, why are sellers thinking it's still 2021, right? Like we're not in the same market that we were. And it's true, right? The inventory's climbed significantly, more than doubled since that point. And so we've more than doubled our inventory since last spring of 24. So like we've definitely gone up, and that's why you're seeing more of these motivated sellers out there. But when I see a listing that's been on for 100 days or more that's had multiple price drops and say like they've dropped like 10% of their price already, that's a seller that really wants to sell. That's just confused by this market. And it's like, get this done. Stop the pain, please. Like that's a good one. The other thing is we can do a specific word search for motivated, like just that word motivated, right? Or any offer or something like that, right? We'll do a couple of keywords to see if we can spot any other deals just from the remarks of agents that are just putting it out there for their clients, because their clients are like, hey, just tell them we're motivated now, right? So they know like we'll take any offer, bring any offer. So those keywords can be good leads too for deals for our clients.
And one surefire way to find out, even if there aren't those signs, is to put in an offer, see where they counter you, see if they tell you, don't ever talk to me again for putting in such a low offer. And you can kind of get a feel for where the seller's at. Are they willing to negotiate? Are they a stubborn seller where they're saying list price or bust?
Yeah.
So I'd say if you're looking at a home and you're curious, you say, hey, if I could get this for a little bit less than list price, I'd really like it. Put in an offer, see if your agent can negotiate it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And so if you are in a position where you're looking to find a deal and you're don't have to wait until the springtime, or if you've been thinking springtime's my time, but now like some of this stuff is resonating with you, or like if I want a deal, I better act a little bit sooner. Give us a call. It is not too late. We've still got some good months here in the fall leading up to the holidays where you're going to have lots of motivated sellers, and we still have a very high level of number of homes on the market right now that's making it a buyer's market currently. So we'd love to help you. Here's our contact info below, and we'd be happy to serve you and your real estate needs and get you into a great home.